Are you and your friends stuck in that endless loop? You know the one. You hop on Discord, everyone's ready to play, and someone asks the dreaded question, "So, what are we playing?" And then you spend the next hour scrolling through Steam, arguing about what's new, and you end up playing the same game you've been playing for the last 2 years? Well, stop. That cycle ends today, because the future of co-op gaming is looking absolutely stacked. I've dug deep and found 10 upcoming open-world co-op games that are going to give you and your squad hundreds of hours of new adventures. Get your wish lists ready, because we're diving in. All right, let's kick things off with a game for all you action junkies out there. If you love Monster Hunter, if you live for the combat in Devil May Cry, or a good Souls-like, then you need to get your eyes on Vindictus: Defying Fate. This is a full-on reimagining of the original Vindictus MMO, but rebuilt from the ground up in Unreal Engine 5, and it looks gorgeous. Forget the old MMO grind. The developers are focusing on a solo-friendly action RPG experience with incredibly tight, skill-based combat. We're talking no stamina bars holding you back, just pure, fluid combos, perfect dodges, and massive cinematic boss fights that will test your skills. They've got 4 unique character classes, and while it's launching with a solo focus, they have co-op hubs and multiplayer elements planned for later updates. This is one of those games you master alone and then show off to your friends and co-op later. It's brutal, it's stylish, and it looks like an absolute blast. So from high-octane, stylish combat, let's switch gears to something a little more punishing. Let's talk about Outward 2. The first Outward was famous for being the ultimate "you're just a regular person" simulator. No quest markers, no hand-holding, and a common cold could be a death sentence. It was brutal. And Outward 2 is doubling down on everything that made the original a cult classic. They're adding a full seasonal cycle, meaning the world itself is trying to kill you, and it changes its tactics every season. The combat system has been completely overhauled. You can now dual wield. The inventory management is even more strategic, and get this, you can now have a mule to carry your stuff. A mule! That's peak adventuring right there. And the best part, it fully supports online and local split-screen co-op. This isn't a game you play to be a hero, this is a game you play to survive. Grabbing a friend to suffer through the brutal world of RI with you? That's peak co-op. Okay, maybe you've had enough of being beaten down by the world. What if you just want to go for a nice weird walk with your friends? Well, from the absolute maniacs who brought you Untitled Goose Game, get ready for Big Walk. This is different. Big Walk is a cooperative adventure all about exploration, teamwork, and bizarre communication. You and your friends are dropped into a huge open world inspired by the Australian bushland, filled with puzzles and secrets. But there's no combat. The challenge comes from working together, using inventive tools, and trying to communicate to solve puzzles. It's described as being both relaxing and engaging. It's the kind of game where you'll spend half your time solving a clever puzzle and the other half just messing around, watching the sunset, or trying to steal your friend's binoculars and throwing them into the ocean. It looks charming, hilarious, and utterly unique. A perfect palate cleanser, coming in 2026. All right, from a nice walk to a terrifying one. If you've ever played The Long Dark, you know the name Hinterland Studio, and you know that name means bleak, atmospheric, and utterly unforgiving survival. Their next project is tentatively titled BLACKFROST. Set a year after the world went dark in their universe, this is a pure survival experience in a new region called Harmont. The source material is a little bit sparse on this one because it's still in early development, but knowing Hinterland, expect deep survival mechanics, a world that feels both beautiful and deadly, and a story that you piece together yourself. While The Long Dark was a solitary experience, the big question here is how they'll integrate co-op. Surviving alone is one thing, but having to trust another person with your last can of peaches and your only box of matches? That adds a whole new layer of tension. This is one for the hardcore survival fans to keep a very close eye on. Do you love building massive automated factories like in Factorio or Satisfactory? You do also love fending off waves of bloodthirsty aliens like in Starship Troopers. If you screamed yes, then StarRupture is the game you've been dreaming of. You crash land on a volatile alien planet, and the goal is simple: survive. But to do that, you need to build, and not just a little wooden shack. We're talking complex industrial systems, automated mining drills, sprawling conveyor belts, and massive production pipelines. And you'll need it because every so often the planet throws a cataclysm your way, sending hordes of creatures to tear down everything you've built. You can brave this world alone or team up with up to 4 players to build, defend, and explore together. This looks like the perfect blend of brainy logistics and frantic base defense action. If you thought the world of Atomic Heart was weird, buckle up. The developers Mundfish are taking us back to that universe with an MMORPG shooter called The Cube. Look at this thing. It's a colossal, levitating cube in space where the different faces are constantly rotating and shifting, creating ever-changing battlefields and biomes. One minute you're in a lush forest, the next you're in a high-tech industrial zone, all while the world is literally turning beneath your feet. This is a full-blown MMO shooter with deep character progression, tons of loot, and wild tactical combat against deadly enemies and massive bosses. The whole premise is about working together with other players to solve a mysterious equation hidden within the cube. The concept is bonkers, the visuals are classic Mundfish, and the potential for dynamic co-op encounters in a world that's never the same twice is off the charts.
Okay, space fans, this one's for you. And it looks ambitious. SpaceCraft is an open-ended space sim that feels like No Man's Sky had a baby with Satisfactory. You get your own ship and you could explore a massive living galaxy. But the real meat here is the sheer depth of the systems. You can land on any planet seamlessly. You can mine resources with specialized tools. You can build sprawling planetary bases with automated extractors and logistics drones. And the ship customization, it's not just swapping out parts in a menu. You are physically reshaping your vessel, adding new engines, wings, and modules. You can team up with friends to form corporations, build galaxy-spanning supply chains, influence the economy, and fight off pirates in tactical space combat. This is a deep simulation, and for a group of friends looking to build a logistics empire among the stars, this could be the one. Look for it in early access in 2025. What if you mixed Pokemon with Horizon Zero Dawn and set it in a 1-to-1 recreation of Hong Kong Island? You'd get Light of Motiram. This is an open-world action-adventure game where you face off against massive mechanical creatures called, you guessed it, Mechanimals. You can fight them with a variety of weapons, but you can also tame them. There are over 100 unique Mechanimals you can tame to help you in battle, gather resources, or just be your cool robot buddy. The game features a physics-based crafting and building system, and here's the kicker. It supports up to 10 players in cross-platform co-op. Imagine rolling up on a massive world boss with your 9 friends, each with their own giant tamed robot. The scale of this game looks incredible, and it's planned for PC, PlayStation, and even mobile. Survival games are usually about building a static base, but what if your base was constantly on the move? Say hello to Railborn. In this survival adventure, you don't build a house, you build a train. Piece by piece, rail car by rail car, you construct and upgrade your mobile home as it travels through a vast, dying world. The world is crisscrossed by branching railroad tracks, leading you through mountains and even under the sea. You'll manage power systems, find and cultivate rare plants in your onboard farm, and slowly uncover the mystery of this bizarre planet. And of course, you can do it all with up to 4 players in online co-op. This feels like a mix of Raft and Stardew Valley on rails. It's a super cool concept that's all about the journey, not the destination. Finally, for our number 1 spot, let's throw it back to the classics. If you grew up on games like Chrono Trigger and Secret of Mana, Drakantos will hit you right in the nostalgia. This is a free-to-play MMORPG with a gorgeous top-down pixel art style, but don't let the retro look fool you. The combat is fast-paced, modern, and action-oriented. The game boasts over 20 unique heroes to collect and play, each with their own distinct mechanics and backstory. You can team up with friends to crawl through dynamically changing dungeons where the enemies, traps, and objectives are different every time you enter. It has deep customization, player housing, guilds, pets, and even a skill-based competitive PvP mode. It's basically everything you loved about classic RPGs, blended with modern MMO design and action combat. For a free-to-play co-op experience, Drakantos looks like it's going to offer an insane amount of content. Whew, and there you have it. 10 incredible open-world co-op games coming your way. From brutal survival and action RPGs to chill adventures and massive simulations, there is something on this list for every type of squad. The future of playing with friends is looking so bright. Now I have to know, which one of these are you most excited to play? Which one are you spamming in your group chat right now? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this list and want to stay up to date on all the best upcoming games, do me a solid and hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Thanks for watching, get your squad ready, and until next time, game on.